Warriors, is crypto about to go parabolic? And here's why. As you look this way, I think they might be getting set up this way, and they're about to open up the floodgates. Could be a short run. My name is Coach JVIM, the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, welcome to our new studio here, which is very exciting. So we'll work to get the audio up and running. We just moved into our new corporate office, and I am on a picnic table right now as we build our new corporate office. It's very exciting, though. We moved from our facility next door. We had our Warrior Academy. Remember, Warriors, I started with a pillow on the wall in my house. I went into my garage. I paid rent at someone else's space. I lost all my money, found an investor, built the Warrior Academy next door. We all piled into one room as a media team, and now we built our corporate office where we all have our own offices. Right next door, we're building a full YouTube studio and our private Warrior Academy education center right here in the back. So never give up, Warriors. Never, ever, ever give up. My life has dramatically changed in the last 4 years by persistence, consistency, and an unwavering belief and understanding that this is the greatest time in human history. Wealth comes from here. Wealth comes from here. And knowing that what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. But you didn't come here to get motivated, did you? You came here to learn about cryptocurrency and what's going on with the economy. So let's first break this down. The narrative is changing so quickly as you look here at Russia, okay? Ukraine. C-word has disappeared. Now we're in the Russia narrative. And here's the thing, Warriors. Do you remember what happened in 1929 when your economy completely collapsed? Next was war. Went into the Great Depression, and the next was war. Middle class is going to get wiped out, leveraged towards technology. The world is going to be brought to its knees through cyber attacks, through food shortages. And all of a sudden, we're going to go into a war narrative, which is going to last about 10 years, and your whole economy is going to shift, just like it's done after every single war narrative. All right, so let's break this down together. So we're going to go through this as we learn what's happening with the narrative and how quickly things are switching. Massive hedge funds are going into cryptocurrency now. Let's ask ourselves, why are they going into cryptocurrency? Let's take a look. So right now, if you look, the US dollar, now we need to repeatedly go over this because you have to understand what's happening with your purchasing power. Since 1971, this update was on March 10th, 2022. The US dollar has lost 86% of its value since 1971. Now remember, so we can talk at an educated level about this. At 1971, what happened? Two things happened. The World Economic was created in January 1971. August 1971, President Nixon comes on and detaches us from the gold standard. Now let's take a look. This is your usdebtclock.org. This is showing you the US debt currently right now. There's two numbers I need you to pay attention to. This number up here on the left-hand side where you can see my little mouse here. Our national debt is $30 trillion, okay? Now, if you go back to 1929, the global GDP, I think it was either America or the global GDP was at trillion, was basically where the crypto market's at. Right now, since 1971, we are at 30 trillion in national debt. But here's the key factor, okay? If you look over here to the right, this is really important. Our gross domestic product is at 24 trillion. So our gross domestic product compared to our national debt is backwards, okay? Our debt to income ratio, look at this, since 1960 was at 53%. 1980 was 34%, okay? 2000s, we were at 58%. And right now, as you sit, this is so important for your cryptocurrency. We're at 125% debt to income ratio. I want to walk back through this again. The value of the dollar. This is why your cryptocurrency is about to explode, Wars. This is why Russia is buying gold again. This is why China in 2019 started hammering down on gold purchases and land purchases in the US. Okay. It's because since 1971, your dollar, the dominant currency in the world, has lost 86% of its value. We are right now, since 1960, went from 53% debt to income ratio, 34%, 58% in 2000, and in 22 years, we have flipped to 125% debt to income ratio. That means that America, if it sold all its products, goods, and services, couldn't even pay off its debt. We are screwed. Well, let's go into a time machine. If you click up here, I'd highly recommend you play around with this, okay? So if we went into a time machine and we click 2026, if we continue to go at this pace, look what's about to happen. Our trillion, our debt, so this is what's really important around cryptocurrency, okay? They have to switch the system. If you go into a time machine by 2026 at the current rates, our national debt will be $45 trillion. Our GDP will only jump to $27 trillion. The only way for the GDP to skyrocket, remember what happened in 1929. We went into war. And what happens in war? We increase GDP. Now, it's not, to me, it's not real GDP. The GDP increased because we were making tons and tons of planes. In times of economic peril, we go to war. War creates monetary gain. So this is a time machine. If we went at the same rates, our debt would be at 45 trillion and our gross domestic product would be at 27 trillion and we'd be at 167% debt to income ratio. So let me ask you a question. Is that sustainable? Can we sustain that? We can't even sustain what is currently going on within the US economy. That's exactly why BlackRock, Vanguard indirectly hold Bitcoin via MicroStrategies. That's why MicroStrategies was the forefront and the the leading company that started to move these big companies indirectly like BlackRock, Vanguard into Bitcoin. So they took Michael Saylor, MicroStrategies, and BlackRock and Vanguard indirectly holding Bitcoin through their large share that they own of the companies into Bitcoin, okay? Now the narrative is switching very quickly. This is February 2nd, 2022. Okay, as we're looking at the war narrative, as we're starting to hear the war narrative, we're all looking this way. Everything's changing really quickly. BlackRock planning to offer crypto trading, sources say. Clients could be able to trade crypto through the firm's Aladdin investment platform, said one of its sources. BlackRock's world's largest asset managers preparing to offer cryptocurrency trading service to investor clients, according to the three people with known knowledge of the plans. It's switching quick, warriors. Years after calling Bitcoin rat poison, Warren Buffett just invested $1 billion in a crypto-friendly bank. Those who once words of Warren Buffett, the famous investor, called Sage of Omaha for knowing things before the rest of the market, now is putting his his money is saying otherwise. Specifically, his company Berkshire Hathaway has bought $1 billion worth of stock in a digital bank that focuses on crypto. Berkshire Hathaway made its crypto investment public with the SEC filing earlier this week. Now, this was on, what's the date here? February 16th, 2022. So you see the narrative switching here. The C word narrative was starting to change. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, California switched their mask laws, right? All of a sudden, boom, mask laws are gone. War narrative is here. The Bitcoin narrative is coming very quickly, or the cryptocurrency narrative. Ray Dalio, who told us in 2020 and 2021, we reported that he said cash is trash. He is showing where his money, putting his money where his mouth is. The reason why I'm showing you these people, BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, okay? Warren Buffett, one of the most touted, one of the most highly regarded investors in the world, one of the richest people in the world, and Ray Dalio, one of the largest hedge funds in the world, Bridgewater Investing and Crypto Fund, source says. Its first signals date, the world's largest hedge fund is taking crypto seriously with its own money. So all of these guys are talking with their money. Now, Janet Yellen, is now changing her tone. Let's listen to her on February 23rd, 2021. And then at the end, I'm going to show you my dear friend, Jerome Powell, who is constantly changing his narrative, who told us that cryptocurrency, it's a speculative asset, but he had created the BIS Innovation Hub in 2021, January, where basically they're creating their own digital currency. Let's listen to what Janet Yellen said back in 2021.
The electric car maker are down 20%. Bitcoin is still up about 25%. Yesterday at the New York Times' Dealbook DC conference, I spoke with Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen about Bitcoin, and she warned about what she called potential dangers.
I don't think that Bitcoin, I've said this before, is widely used as a transaction mechanism. To the extent it's used, I fear it's often for illicit finance. It's an extremely inefficient way of conducting transactions, and the amount of energy that's consumed in processing those transactions is staggering. But it is a highly speculative asset, and I think people should beware. It can be extremely volatile, and I do worry about potential losses that investors in it could suffer.
Yeah, I do worry about potential losses, but we're packing our bags. We're getting ready. We want you out of it. We don't want you to hold long. We don't want you to have a long-term strategy so you can become the new uncommon 1%. Well, Janet Yellen, here we go. Janet Yellen says crypto. Janet Yellen, because I know the haters are going to come in my comments say you can't say names correctly. ISO 20022, that was for the haters out there. Janet Yellen says crypto has its benefits. I love you guys. And Treasury hopes to offer guidance on regulation that fosters healthy innovation. Their tone is changing so quickly. U.S. Secretary Treasury Janet Yellen told CNBC that she recognizes the benefits of cryptocurrency. We recognize the innovation and payment system can be a healthy thing, Yellen says. She wants the Treasury to issue regulatory guidance that fosters innovation. They also talk about how President Biden issued the executive order on cryptocurrency. Everything is changing dramatically, Warriors, dramatically. Now, here's the thing you need to watch out about, okay? Now, remember, early March, executive order, cryptocurrencies. That was Biden, okay? The thing you need to watch out for is the narrative around the green initiative wars. That is a new initiative, okay? That is, I'm telling you guys, people are calling me the Oracle, and then I predicted all this stuff. I'm just researching history. I love Ray Dalio, and I'm going to bring up a whole China narrative as we go into this week. Warriors, China is going to be the new reserve currency. It's just what it is. America has run its course. I'm an American through and through. I serve my country, but I'm just telling you, this is what we should be invading ourselves. If you really look at, let's go back really quickly. We should be invading ourselves. Look at this. Look at this. US dollars lost 86%. This is what they're doing to our economy. We should be invading ourselves and putting ourselves in trouble. We shouldn't be worried about other countries. I always tell people in my academy, don't go after other people when you don't have your shit together. I don't go after people when I don't have my shit together. Look at this, Warriors. Okay, so let's listen to what Jerome Powell says. We're going to repeatedly listen to this because he tells us exactly what's happening.
Going back to the same economy, this will be a different economy. And one of the things we hear from companies is that they've spent a lot of time since the pandemic arrived looking at ways to have more effective technology and perhaps fewer people. So you're going to see some of that in these public-facing jobs. So there will be millions of people who have a hard time finding their way back into the workforce and recovering the lives that they had just a year ago. And, I think it would be appropriate for us to continue to support those people. The recovery, though, here remains uneven and incomplete. The burden is still falling on lower income workers. The unemployment rate in the bottom quartile is still 20%. There's still 8.5 million people out of work. And this unevenness that we're talking about is a very serious issue. Viruses are no respecters of borders, and until the world really is vaccinated, we're all going to be at risk of new mutations, and we won't be able to really resume activity with confidence when people are out of work for a long period of time. The record shows empirically that their whole economic lives, and frankly, their broader lives as human beings, can be damaged even permanently. So we want to avoid that, and I would say we have avoided a great deal of it.
Okay, so here's exactly what's happening. They pushed us as far as they could, as humanly possible, as far as they could with the pandemic narrative. That's what happened, okay? So now what you're seeing, now walk through this with me in your mind, okay? You saw in Canada, they started pushing back. They're like, nope. Many countries started pushing back, okay? All of a sudden, the midterms are coming up. California, New York, boom, mask laws are gone. So all of a sudden the narrative changes. What do? They get you to look this way. It's a war narrative now, and it's going to be a cyber narrative. The way they're going to push you fully into this digital-based economy is going to be through a cyber attack. They're going to attack the energy sector and the financial system. They're going to bring the financial system and the energy sector to its knees. Warriors, It's nothing new under the sun. They're getting themselves set up for the cyber attack. They're going to bring us to our knees. They're going to blame it on Russia. Everybody's going to be the scapegoat is going to be Russia. Russia and China are working together on distributed ledger technology. The SWIFT system is going to be challenged. They're going to go to ISO 20022. All these cryptocurrencies are going to come together. They're going to create the new monetary system, and they're going to give you UBI or printed money because we're so deep. We're so deep. You can't fix this, Warriors. You can't fix this. Let's go back into the time machine. Let's go back into the time machine. You can't fix this. You can't fix 45 trillion in debt by 2026. And I told you by 2025, we're going to be in a new financial system. If anybody has the ability to have an educated conversation with me, and let's get on here and not even debate it. Let's talk about it. I don't need to debate, because if you can show me a way that you know how to fix this besides war, then you show me a way. I would love to have somebody on this channel that could show me. I want to be educated. I would love to be educated in front of everybody. Show me how you can fix this without war, because war increases GDP. Show me how you can fix 45 trillion in debt versus 27 trillion in GDP when it would only go up by 24 trillion up to 27 trillion, the GDP, and the debt would go from, let's do that again, 46 trillion. We're at 30 trillion. So the debt would go up by 16 trillion and your GDP would only go up by 2 trillion. So please, if you know anybody that could help me understand how to do this without a war narrative, without bringing the country to its knees and switching the monetary system or fixing it by changing the monetary system, then please let me know. Okay. All right, Warriors, we got a lot of exciting things going on in the Warrior Academy. We're going to be adding the 5th prong to my investment wealth building strategy. We'll be announcing that to our Warriors this week on our Thursday call hosted by me. Okay. So I have my cryptocurrency. I have my insurance. Okay. I also have my wealth building strategy through businesses. Okay. We talked about insurance, cryptocurrency, businesses, and then we focus on our, we got another strategy coming, which is the pre-IPO piece. We talk about that. Okay, we got insurance, we have business. What was my other one? Cryptocurrency, precious metals. Duh. So cryptocurrency, precious metals. We have our insurance strategy. We have our business strategy, and now we'll be launching our strategy we have coming up. Gives normal everyday people or accredited investors access to very, very early unicorns. The whole economy is changing, and I'm getting access to this stuff, Warriors, because of the stuff I'm talking about. Because companies are coming to me saying, hey, listen, you're the person who's helping the normal everyday person get into the game. There's never been a greater time like this in human history. I'm just sharing with you knowledge that is brought to me because I want to help as many human beings as possible free their dome. As we always say, Warriors, let's take a look at this US debt clock. Woo! Let's go, Warriors. Time to get your shit together.